Hello, class 12th student. Today, again, I am going to start chapter 3rd. Topic is liberalization, privatization, and globalization. This is part 6. In this video, we are going to discuss about globalization. Okay, and it is the very easy meaning of globalization that I had written here. What is globalization? So, globalization means the integration of domestic economy with the rest of the world through trade, capital, technology flow. Okay, so this is the meaning of globalization. Globalization means when our economy is going to interact with all over the world, with other nation, with the rest of the world. This is known as a globalization. Okay, so let me understand it properly. So one more meaning here is written, that is in your book. What is globalization? First of all, this is one mark question. What do you mean by globalization? So globalization means integration. What is integration? Integration of what? National economy with वर्ल्ड इकॉनमी. ओके, जब हमारी इंडियन इकॉनमी वर्ल्ड की अदर इकॉनमी के साथ इंट्रीगेट होती है, इंट्रीगेट मतलब कनेक्टेड होती है, तो दैट इज़ कंसीडर एज अ ग्लोबलाइजेशन. ओके, एंड हाउ when it is possible? It is possible when there will be removal of barriers and on international trade and capital movement. And globalization is only possible when there will be no, there is written a removal of barrier. There is written removal of barrier means there will be no barriers. There will be no barriers means no tariff and quota. So when there will be no tariff and no quota, okay, on trade, on international trade, then there will be condition of globalization. Okay, student, so I think you had understand the meaning of globalization. Globalization means integrating, means connecting. Connection of what? Connection of domestic or national economy with world economy. Okay, and it is possible when there will be removal of all type of barrier on international trade and capital movement. Okay, so this is the 1 marks question. What do you mean by globalization? Okay, now here is written more fact about globalization. Globalization is nothing. Okay, it is just outcome, just outcome of policies of liberalization and privatization. Okay, whenever any economy is going to introduce liberalization and privatization, so its result will be globalization. Okay, so that is, it is written here, globalization is the outcome of liberalization and privatization. Okay, so remember, this is another next question. Okay, what is the outcome of liberalization and privatization? So globalization. Okay, so whenever any economy, it is going to be liberal. Liberal means there will be no restrictions, there will be no barrier, okay, on export and import. Okay, there will be no quantitative, there will be no qualitative restriction. Quantitative restrictions means quota, and qualitative restriction means there will be no taxes, no export tax, no import tax. So when there will be no tax on export and import, and there will be no quantitative restriction means no quota, so that is liberalization. And privatization means what? When there is freedom, there is freedom to open new industries. Okay, there is no requirement of license, there is no requirement of license. Okay, so this is what privatization, when private sector is given leading role. Okay, and if you want, anyone want, it is, if a person is having money and he or she wants to open, to set up a firm or industry, so they can easily set up a firm. Okay, there is not any paperwork, there is no requirement of written permission are getting license. Okay, so when this is the condition, so there will be liberalization, there will be privatization, and whenever there is liberalization and privatization, so ultimately that economy is going to be global economy, means trading relationship is going to all over world. That economy is going to sell goods and services rest of the world, and the people of that country is going to get goods and services from all over the world. You take the example of India. Okay, if you talk about the India, so before 1991, before 1991, okay, when we are adopting the policy of LPQ, means license, permit and quota. So that time what is, there is quota and there is tariff. So because of that, there is not too much options for the consumer. Okay, all Indian people are going to depend upon domestic industries. Okay, in this way our our trade is going to be limited, and there is too much drawback we had learned. Okay, so after adopting the policy of LPG. So when we adopted the policy of liberalization and privatization, what we get? Globalization. Okay, student, so I think you are able to understand meaning of globalization. So globalization means when our economy is going to connect it with world economy. Okay, and when there is removal of all type of tariff and quota. Okay, so next is given about globalization is generally understood to mean integration of economy of the country with the world economy. Same line is here. Next is, however, it is a complex phenomena. Means globalization is not a thing you started to think about, okay, we want to global and you started to become global. No, if you want to become a global economy, so first of all you have to introduce what? You have to introduce liberalization, you have to introduce privatization, then ever you are able to become global and you are able to get the benefit of globalization. Okay, students, so it is a complex phenomena. It require a set of various policies to transfer the world toward greater interdependence and integration. Okay, next is given, it involves creation of networks and activity transcending economy, social and geographical boundary. In short, globalization aims to create a borderless world. Means globalization is related to one world, one market. Okay, there is no restriction. Anyone can sell their product in any country, and you can, a buyer can purchase any good and any service from any country. So this is what globalization. Okay, one world, one world, one market. Okay, so this is what globalization. Okay, so one more thing I want to tell you, that globalization is just not related to selling and purchasing good from all over the world. It is also related to social change. Okay, whenever any economy is becoming global economy, so there are a lot of changes in cultural and in religious level also. Okay, like you take the example of India. If you talk about before LPG, before the adoption of the policy of LPG, so people are having very conventional, yeah, you can say traditional thinking about women's. Okay, they don't allow to do the job, they don't allow to their daughters to go outside and to study. But because of this LPG becoming a global economy, we are able to understand that ki women's having also that much efficiency, they can also work. So that is why in India also today women's are doing everything, they are going in every field and they are contributing toward our country. Okay, so this is what globalization is: interaction with other economy in the field of economy as well as social level also. Now, changes made by the globalization of Indian economy, how we get created the possibility of globalization. So यहाँ हम क्या पढ़ेंगे, कैसे हमारी इकोनॉमी, इंडियन इकोनॉमी ग्लोबल बनी. ठीक है, ग्लोबलाइजेशन की तरफ हम कैसे आगे बढ़े. So how we get this. Okay, so first is given ki the new economic policy prepared a specified list of high technology and high investment priority industries in which automatic permission will be available for foreign direct investment up to 51%. Okay, so first thing that is done by the government, that after adopting new economic policy, FDI is allowed up to 51%. So when there is FDI, so it is not we are able to get the foreign money, but we are able to get foreign technology also, okay, and work culture also. So that is why there will be too much benefit. Next is given ki in respect of foreign technology agreement, and automatic permission is provided in high priority up to a sum of rupees 1 lakh. No permission is no requirement of hiring foreign technology or for testing indigenous development. Okay, so it is related to FII. There is now allowed to 51%. It is written there is no license is required. Okay, for hiring foreign technology. Okay, for developing indigenous technology. Okay, next is given in order to make international adjustment of Indian currency, rupee was devaluated in July 1991 by nearly 21%. It stimulated export, discouraged import, and raised the influx of foreign exchange. Okay, this is the last time that devaluation is done by our government. Okay, after adopting new economic policy, foreign exchange rate is decided by market force. Actually, foreign exchange reserve you are going to learn in detail in your macroeconomics. Okay, so you are able to understand this topic properly. So just here learn as a fact that ki last time devaluation is done by the government in July 1991. Okay, and because of this devaluation, there is increase in export, there is decrease in import. Okay, and there is increase in the foreign reserve. Now next point is given to integrate Indian economy with world economy. Union budget 1992 to 93 made Indian rupee partially convertible, and then the rupee was made fully convertible in 1993 to 94. Okay, so it is again related to foreign exchange rate. Okay, so when you learn the macroeconomics, you are able to understand these facts, but here you learn it. Okay, so he, here is written that our rupee is become partial convertible, and then rupee was made fully before it fully convertible, now it is partial convertible. Okay, now next is given a new 5-year export import policy was announced by the government to establish the framework of globalization of India's foreign trade. The policy removal of all restrictions and control on the external trade and allowed market forces to play a greater role respect of export and import. Okay, so this point actually related is that ki now private sector is given leading role. Okay, and there is no quota and no tax. Okay, in this way our economy become a free economy. Now private sector is allowed to play leading role. Okay, next is given in order to bring Indian economy within the ambit of the global competition, the government has modified the custom duty to a considerable extent, and accordingly the peak rate of custom duty has been reduced from 250% to 10% in 2007 to 8. ओके, हमारी इकॉनमी ग्लोबल बन सके, ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट इंडिया में हो. ओके, तो इसके लिए जो कस्टम ड्यूटी था उसे रिड्यूस किया गया. कितना परसेंट? 250. ओके, एंड नाउ इट इज़ ओनली 10% इन 2007 to 2008 budget. Okay, so this is one more step for the globalization. Okay, so make a quick revision of this point. So what steps are taken by the government to make our economy, Indian economy, to a global economy. First, FII, foreign institutional investment and foreign direct investment is allowed to more than 51%. Next is, okay, uh, there is no requirement of any permission, no license is required, okay, for hiring foreign technology or for testing indigenous development technology abroad. Okay, next is given ki our uh, in 1991 last devaluation is done by the government. After that, export had increases, import had decreases, and foreign investment has increases. Okay, next in the fourth, before 1991 our rupee is fully convertible, but after adopting new economic policy it become partial convertible. Fifth, we had learned there is no requirement of there is no quota, no license. Okay, last, custom duty has been reduced from 250% to 10%. Okay, so now we are going to learn about impact of globalization. So what are the impact of globalization? So here is one diagram. Increased trade, customer is having more choice. If you talk about, if you go to the back now, 1991 back, so there is only 2 3 company for TV. Okay, Beltex and some few indigenous company. If you talk about the connectivity, so there is only one government landline system. Okay, if you talk about the schools, so there is majorly government school. If you talk about the hospitals, so there is majorly uh, government schools. Okay, so there is less choice for the uh, public, less choice for the Indian people. There is no mart like today we find. Okay, so these are what, this is the result of globalization. Okay, uh, so if a greater competition, obviously when foreign companies will come here, they will set up, they started to do the production at the lower cost, so obviously there will be high competition, and every company try to produce its product at a lower price, so it is going to give benefit to consumer. Okay, economics of a scale, obviously there will be larger production. If you talk about before the 1991 and after adopting new economic policies, so our goods and services, the volume of good and services has increased. Okay, increased capital and labor mobility. Obviously if you go back to the before adopting new economic policy, so there is no outsourcing, but today if you talk about the IT sector, if you talk about the software development, who is number one? India is number one. How? Because of globalization. Okay, next is tax easier now. Tax, there are two there are no there is very less actually export and import duty. Okay, and the policy is become too much easier, and structural unemployment from shifting sectors. Okay, so we find there are more development of industrial sector, tertiary sector in compare to agriculture sector. If we had learned at the first chapter now, more than 75% people are engaged in agriculture sector, but this ratio has decreased. Today there is more development of structure, tertiary and manufacturing sector, and it is providing greater opportunity, employment opportunity. Okay, and it is a very strong base, giving a strong base. Because of globalization, there is middle class. Okay, and monopoly power of multinational, so this is a demerit. Okay, now we are going to learn positive and negative traits of globalization, yani impact, positive and negative impact. The process of globalization through liberalization and privatization policies has produced positive as well as negative results. So let we understand first of all positive. So greater access to global market. Okay, so it is very simple ki today we are able to purchase any type of commodity, we are able to enjoy any type of services. It is very easily available. Okay, we can purchase any commodity that produce in any country. Okay, because of being a global economy. Okay, advanced technology, because of privatization and because of liberalization and becoming a global economy, there is too much improvement in our technology. Okay, today we are using international technology. If we talk about the Bata, if we talk about Khadim, we talk about VIP, we talk about the Tata. So these are what Mahindra. These are Indian companies that is going to meet international standard, and this is the result of globalization. Okay, better future prospect for the large industry of developing countries to become an important player in the international area. Obviously, it gives opportunity to developing country to become and work at a international level. Okay, now negative impact of globalization. So globalization has been criticized by some scholars, so there are some given few reasons. First is benefit is only, basically it give benefit to developed country in compared to developing country. So this is one criticism of globalization. Okay, because developing country is not able to compete with the developed country, so that in this way developed countries are going to get more benefit from the globalization. Okay, next is globalization compromise the welfare and identity of people, poor people. Okay, so obviously liberalization, privatization and globalization means there is greater role of private sector, and private sector work for profit maximization. So obviously we are going to compromise with social welfare. So this is the demerit of globalization. Now, next is uh, market driven globalization increase economic disparity. So same thing is here. First, it is going to give benefit to only developed countries. Second thing, it is not good for the poor countries and for the poor people. And next is it is going to increase disparity in the economy, means richer section is going to become more richer and poor section is going to become more poor. Okay, so this is what economic disparity. So these are the three basic criticism of globalization. Okay, now we are going to learn about the last topic of this video is outsourcing. So this is the meaning of outsourcing. Outsourcing implies hiring business services on contract from outside world, and this time one question in board examination has been asked from here. So again it is important. So what is the meaning of outsourcing? It implies hiring business services on contract from outside world. Okay, so we are going to understand it. What is the meaning of outsourcing? There is also written. Outsourcing refers to contracting out some of its activity to a third party which were earlier performed by the organization. So you can write anyone. Okay, देखो outsourcing होता क्या है कि you hire workers from other country, they work for you. Okay, their identity is hidden and they are going to work as your employees. So outsourcing is possible because of too much improvement of information technology and connectivity. Okay, and basically it is related to call center, BPO. Okay, so let me understand it. So इसमें होता क्या है कि जो डेवलप्ड कंट्री हैं वो डेवलपिंग कंट्री के वर्कर्स को हायर करते हैं और उनसे काम कराते हैं. क्यों? क्योंकि वो ईजिली लो वेज रेट पे अवेलेबल होते हैं. दिस इज़ व्हाट आउटसोर्सिंग. ओके, एंड इन आउटसोर्सिंग इंडिया इज leading role. India is doing leading role. Okay, so I think the first one, this meaning is more easier for outsourcing. So learn it and write in your copy. Okay, outsourcing implies hiring business services on contract from outside. Okay, now for example, many companies have started outsourcing security services to outside agency on a contract basis. Okay, There are more example in next slide. So we are going to learn about more thing about outsourcing. So outsourcing is one of the most important outcome of globalization. Remember this point, okay? Remember this point. Outsourcing is the result of globalization, and globalization is the result of privatization and liberalization. If there is no globalization, so you are not able to become a leading power of outsourcing. India is having the first rank in that, okay? So it is result of what? Globalization, okay? It has intensified in recent time because of growth of fast mode of communication and growth of information technology. So outsourcing is possible because of two things: because of growth of communication, fast mode of communication means networking, 4G 5G, okay, and growth of IT sector, information technology. Next is given with the help of the modern telecommunication like the text, voice, visual data in respect of these services is digitized and transmitted in real time over continents and national boundaries. So because of this, because of these high tech things, outsourcing is possible, okay? So this question has been asked: why India is a favorite destination of outsourcing in the world? So it has asked in 3 marks question, okay? So what are the reason? It is very important. What is the reason for India as a favorite destination of outsourcing, and what is the meaning of outsourcing? It is very important, okay? So because of two reason, India is having the first, it is doing leading role in outsourcing. Because first is low wage rate. In India, we know now there is too much labor power because of we are populated. After just China, we are most populated country, okay? Second thing, availability of skilled labor. So these are the two basic reason. Because of that, in outsourcing, India is playing leading role. First, low wage rate. Our labors are, skilled labor are available at a low wage rate. Because of that, India is playing leading role in outsourcing, okay? For example, BPO company are already gaining prominence and earning precious foreign exchange, okay? Now some example of outsourcing. So this is the next important question, okay? What are the example of outsourcing? There are three basic question asked. What do you mean by outsourcing? Why India is a favorite destination? So there are two reason: cheap rate, labor is available, cheap rate, and skilled labor is available, okay? Next, what are the examples? So these are the example: voice based business process, yani BPO and call center. Next is record keeping, accountancy, banking services, music recording, film editing, book transcription, and clinical advice. So these are the things that is used from India, okay? Foreign country or developed country hire these services from India. Obviously, India is known as a knowledge economy. India is known as a, remember this word beta, India is known as a knowledge economy. So this is why India is known as a knowledge economy. This is why we are able to become we are able to first rank, we are able to do leading role in outsourcing because of knowledge economy. We are known as a knowledge economy, okay? So thank you for today, and please student learn properly because you are going to give board examination now. Started to learn slowly and gradually, okay? So thank you.